I play almost only classical music, and when it comes to playing film music, I'm picky, because most of the time a film score is not really supposed to stand by itself. It's primarily meant to work together with the film and enhance what's going on there. And when you play music, only music, it needs to tell the whole story by itself, and that requires more in terms of musical ideas and variations than often what the film score have. But there are some exceptions to this, and this piece is one of them. Michael Nyman's music to Jane Campion's 1993 movie The Piano. Now, this music is very much woven into the story of the movie. It's about this Scottish mute woman Ada, who enjoys playing the piano, of course. She's played by Holly Hunter, who won an Oscar for the performance. And she gets married away to some guy in New Zealand. And when they arrive, they can't move the piano from the beach on the island to the home. So somehow it ends up at another man's house called Baines. And she kind of goes to Baines' house to play the piano instead of being with her husband, and let's just say the drama unfolds from there. I'm not going to spoil the movie. And of course we have a lot of piano music when she plays, among other things, this piece that's called The Heart Asks Pleasure First. And there's no score in this video because it's not in the public domain, but I will show you the chords at least. So in the main section we have this amazing pianistic texture with a melody and 16th notes. So the melody is always on top. And we have this rolling 16th note, like taking turn with the melody. And it's an A minor with a 9, rolling on the 9, the B. And then we also have this mirroring image with the hands almost. You feel like you're playing in the mirror image, but it's not exactly, but you have the bass and the top note at least. And you have the same in the Chopin etude in A flat major opus 25 number 1, the harp etude, and it's just a special visceral feeling to play it like that. And then we have this rhythmic element. So the time signature is in 6/8, and every beat is 3/8 notes or 6 16th notes. It's all the time 16th notes, but you can divide it in 2 or 3 groups every beat. So in this section it's more in 3/8 notes. We have a quarter note and an 8th note. 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 2. But then in like the other section, this section, it's in 2 instead. It's 2 dotted 8th notes. And what happens throughout the piece is he kind of plays with this, and you get them like in different hands, and you get this rhythmic chawing going. It's really cool, especially in the middle section. It can get really tricky to play it because you have to switch the mode of the hand. For example, like it's different between the hands all the time. Now the form. There are basically 3 sections. First we have kind of a chorus section that's only 4 bars long, and it's this one. So it's in A minor and we end on D. And then we have like the main section that's most of the theme. I mean, this is also the theme, but when we get this I played before. I will refer to this as the main section, and it's like 8 bars long. And then we get a longer like middle section, feels like a developmental section. That's 16 bars, and we start in C when we go down here. And then the piece is kind of going between the main section and the development. but every time there's the chorus part in between. And also there are some different versions of this. For the official soundtrack album that you can listen to, there are actually 3 tracks with this same music. It's called The Heart Asks Pleasure First, but then also The Sacrifice and The Promise features this material, and it's slightly different configurations. Like sometimes I think in The Sacrifice, when it comes the second time, it's much slower. It's like more dreamy. And then in the last one, The Promise, it comes with a added string section, smooth silky strings, like piano concerto version. So you can basically choose a little bit how you want to do it, also which way to start it. So the version I have, I think it's good to as a coherent musical piece. You start with the chorus first. And then you have the main section that comes 2 times in a repeat. Then you get the chorus, and then the development section, and then the chorus. And then there's an extra section in the end that's not on the official soundtrack album, but it's in the movie. It's like, it occurs in a dramatic climax in the movie where the husband confronts Ada. Let's just leave it at that if you haven't seen it. So it gets more dramatic, and we have this più mosso and fortissimo, and he varies the rhythm yet again to have quintuplets. So instead of, we get like this rhythmic unevenness here. Very anxious music. But then for the end of the musical piece, we kind of get to calm down. This molto allargando, and I kind of start it slightly earlier. You can let these arpeggios take time on them. Now let's take a look at the sections a little bit more detail with the harmony, because it's very simple what it does, but very effective. So the chorus is A minor, actually in second inversion with E in the bass, and then we go to G major in the left hand, but the right hand kind of plays an A minor. So we get this like dissonances, but very pleasant dissonances. Back to A minor first inversion now, and it's the same again, and now to D major, and D major to A minor is like a special sort of plagal cadence, major subdominant 4 to minor 1. And now the main section, we have this 9 rolling over the 9, A minor 2, this is F major 7, lovely chord. So you're rolling over this is like the magic in the piece, I think, the major 7 here and the F. And then G. So we have this progression, F, G, A minor. That's an important thing that's going to come back. And then it's basically just A minor until we go down to E in the bass, which is the dominant to my A minor. And then in the development middle section there is more things happening. So we start on C major, and he never modulates away from the tonality of A minor, but sometimes it's hard to say if it's A minor or C major. They're relative keys, and there are indicators of the dominant. When we get the G, it's always with connection to a C, so it feels like C major tonality, and then E is always in connection with A minor. So let's go through this section. So G from C, and then to A minor. Now E, actually without the third, just the open fifth, but it's still E. This lovely lush F major 7 again. So here we have the same progression, F major to G to A minor, and now it's a little bit quicker. So it's A minor, C, and this is A minor over D to A minor over A. And that's the first half of the middle section. And then it starts like the same again with the C, and now gets building more energy, and now the left hand gets to play like that. It's actually the same chords as before, C, G, A minor and E. And now for the final 4 bars, it's a little bit quicker harmonic pulse. Go through a lot here. And we end with this D in the bass, but A minor harmony. And that's pretty much all the harmony in the piece. I will now play through this version of it, and a special shout out to my Patreon sponsor M. Thurston.